Welcome to Gender Talk 211. My name is Eva Lopa and I am your host. Joining us today is Apiu Maiwak, Principal of Aerodromes at the South Sudan Civil Aviation Authority. She is also the founder and chair of the South Sudan Women in Aviation, an initiative championing greater representation, mentorship, and opportunities for women in aviation. Apiu, you are most welcome.
Thank you very much, Eva. I'm so grateful to be here today.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for honoring our invite. I know we've been talking about it for a while. We're matching today. It was not planned, I promise.
Yeah.
So is blue a color of aviation?
Yes.
You know, I guessed that. I had a feeling it's going to be blue. I said, okay, let me just wear that for the show. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I know it's always better to follow your intuition. When you feel like this is the right color, then absolutely.
That is absolutely true. Now, before I get into women in aviation in general, I want you to tell me a little bit more about yourself. So I know you are the principal of Aerodromes at the Civil Aviation Authority. I know you've had an extensive resume within aviation in general. So why don't you take me all the way to the back?
All right. I'm principal for Aerodromes and Ground Aids. As you mentioned, I'm the founder, the chairperson of Women in Aviation, and I'm also a steering member of the African Women and Youth in Aviation, representing our country.
Wonderful. What exactly does it mean to be the principal of Aerodromes?
The principal is the person who's in charge of the operation of the aircraft at the aerodrome site to ensure that the aircraft are operating in a safety environment.
Wonderful. I know you've also been a part of the East Africa community, the aviation industry in some form. Why don't you tell me more about that as well?
In 2023, I was nominated to be one of the focal persons for air transport consumer protection in East African community. AFCAC is the African Civil Aviation Commission.
Okay.
Is an AU agency specialized in all the civil aviation matters. So AFCAC directed all the states in the region to nominate focal persons for consumer protection. Our task was to harmonize all the laws and establish consumer protection department within our states and advocate for the rights of the air transport users.
What exactly what's involved in that when you say consumer protection?
You know, to enhance the welfare of the passengers. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, when I was nominated, I didn't want to be doing this because I'm an aerodrome person. And I told the acting director general by then, I cannot. I have zero knowledge in aerodrome. I mean, in consumer protection. But he really wanted me to go and represent the state. And then he said, when you come back, you have a right to change your mind. So when I went there, I went to Nairobi for the first workshop for focal persons. To my surprise, I found everyone was waiting for me to chair the workshop.
Oh.
With zero knowledge in aerodrome, in consumer protection. I was so stressed and it was terrifying.
How did you get through that?
Thank God, the representative from AFCAC and the ESC, they took me through even about the ESC protocols. It went well, but the experience was like attending a Catholic church for the first time. People were talking about something I don't understand.
Yeah.
It was really stressful, but it went well. When I came back to Juba, I told the acting director general, thank you for nominating me. I represented the state very well, but I can't do this. Here's your report, and you need to look for someone to do the consumer protection, because I'm an aerodrome person at the end of the day. He advised me to at least give myself a chance to learn something new. I was convinced then. I took some days off to read about the single Africa air transport market and the Yom Sokra decision Annex 6. I found it doable.
Okay.
We established the department in 2024.
In South Sudan?
Yes. But because our act was still pending, we waited until March 2025. We officially inaugurated the department, and I was the first manager for consumer protection.
Are you still the manager now?
Now, I requested the leadership to allow me to go back to Aerodrome. Everyone can do consumer protection, but it takes a passion, dedication, and commitment to be an aerodrome expert. So I'm better at home.
I really respect that. I respect someone that says, hey, this is not what I know, it's not my interest, someone else can do it better.
Yeah.
I really respect that you did that. So now before I go down into the questions I really want to ask, what is the status of aviation from your perspective in South Sudan?
Oh, the CAA is going through an incredible turn of events. We have a solid act which can better suit the needs of the industry, and the leadership is really working hard to implement the international standards, and I think we are in the right path.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all?
Yeah. Or you want to know about women?
I want to know about women. I want to know the status. I want to know, are we safe? You said there's an act that was passed just now. I want to know more about all of this.
The International Civil Aviation Organization has made it clearly through the Assembly Resolution A3930 that every state should demonstrate a strong, determined leadership and commitment to enhance the participation of women in the global aviation community. So South Sudan is an ACAO member state. We don't have any excuse. If we want to follow the international standard, then the gender equality agenda should not be left behind.
Okay.
And we are trying through the association to push on this agenda.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any form of even minor representation within aviation, you think, for women?
In leadership?
Leadership. I think also recently I read about a new woman pilot that's around. I think her name is Arwal. Really love her, but I kept thinking, how is it that I never heard about any other woman pilot that's now flying, has a job? It's been a while since the famous Alwel was flying all over the world, and we were so proud. Where are all of the other women pilots? Are they non-existent? Do women not pursue aviation? I've also seen the recent, I think, board. Is it board of directors? And it's pretty much male represented.
Yeah, there's only one female there.
There's only one female.
Yeah. And by the way, Arwal is my deputy.
Okay.
Yeah, she's really hardworking young lady. She's now flying the Royal Air. She's based in Comoros.
Wonderful.
Here in South Sudan, we still have a long way to go, especially to see women in technical roles and leadership positions. But our ladies are really working hard to represent us regionally and internationally. Like Alwel now, she's flying KLM. She's a captain now. Arwal also representing us in the region.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're trying to push hard at least by 2030, we want to see more females in technical areas and leadership positions.
Okay.
Yeah.
When we say, before I get to leadership positions, I know you founded the South Sudan Women in Aviation. I think it was 2023, 2024?
It was established in 2022, officially inaugurated in 2023.
In 2023,
Yeah.
yes. It's been, I think, now 2 years since you officially inaugurated it.
Yeah.
From what we're saying right now, I can kind of tell why you felt it's important to have such an initiative. But you tell me in your own words, what were your thoughts in 2022 when you felt like this needs to be established?
Today my answer is going to be a little bit different than any other time. I've done a couple of interviews, and every time they ask me this question, my answer would be, there is a gender gap in aviation and I want to empower women, which is true. The gap is still huge, and women empowerment is still the top of our agendas. But today, I'm going to share my story as a woman, and I'm going to go back a little bit. You know, in life, we all go through challenges, and it is up to us to decide on how to go about them. I graduated in 2010. I was lucky to do my internship with Sudan Civil Aviation. But the country was going through referendum, so they advised me to go and start from the other side. I came to Juba in 2011, but South Sudan Civil Aviation were not established yet. So I failed to get a job in the aviation industry. Again, I tried to apply. My application was rejected, and then they accepted me as a volunteer. And I remained as a volunteer for 5 years. And being a volunteer means no progress, no access to opportunities, and your ambitions are restricted. Whenever you want to do something, people will remember you. You don't have a right. You are not appointed. And I think the reason why I remained as a volunteer for 5 years, because I didn't have the support network and I didn't have the connections. It was only me, my passion, and my degree. And I was also going through social challenges like any other woman. I decided to shift the paradigm and focus on positivity. And I dedicated my time, energy to fix all the areas in my life. And that's the reason why I came up with this association, is to help myself and other women, because I don't want the next generation to go through what I've been through.
Yeah.
It was tough, by the way. And I also found myself in an environment where people didn't like what I was doing. Some of them think aviation is a useless career. I'm just wasting time and resources. So my father was the only person cheering for me. I lost him in 2016, but I didn't lose the hope. I kept pushing alone. And you know, in aviation we say, when everything seems going against you, remember the aeroplane takes off against the wind, not with it. So the challenges, they were there, but I didn't go with it.
Yes.
I decided to go against them.
Yes.
I didn't know where is it going to take me, but I wanted to survive, keep my mind engaged. Even though I didn't have the opportunity for progress, I committed myself to learn, read the annexes, understand them very well. I didn't waste my time, and I'm grateful to be where I am today.
Amazing. I was not expecting you to
Really?
go that deep today and to share so much of yourself with us. I know it is so tough to even share, because 5 years, that's a very long time. And I'm also sorry for your loss, but I
It's all
know
right.
absolutely proud. I know he's absolutely proud. And on that
Thank you.
note, let's take a short break. We'll be right back.
In South Sudan, beads carry stories, stories of beauty, pride, and identity. From weddings to celebrations, beads have always spoken our language of culture. At Suksukna, meaning our beads, women and girls are bringing this tradition to life again, handcrafting unique designs inspired by South Sudanese and Pan-African cultures. Each bead is more than decoration, it's empowerment. Every purchase supports a woman earning an income, a girl learning a skill, and a family building a future. Whether you want beads for sale, hire, or a custom design, Suksukna offers elegance rooted in tradition. Visit Mamarasakit Village today or contact us on 0921 792 495 or email mamarasakit@gmail.com. Let's wear our culture with pride.
Welcome back to an episode focused on women in aviation. Apiu, I loved how you shared your story so openly, so vulnerable. It's very rare that we do that. So I commend you for being so brave.
Thank you.
Yeah, and just to take you back, and as much as you mentioned the difficulties of trying to pursue the career in aviation, take me back to when you decided that this is the field you want to go into academically. Were there any challenges in even choosing this path?
This is a very good question. And by the way, when I was young, I really wanted to be on TV. That's why I decided I wanted to do what you are doing now.
I mean, you look good on TV.
I decided to study mass communications for my first undergraduate. Some of my family members, they discouraged the idea and advised me to partake in more promising field according to their understanding. So they managed to convince me, then I started to look for courses. I grew interest in the Aviation Science College, and I was fascinated by Aerodromes management, and I felt very strongly that I will be a pioneer woman in this field. That's how I became passionate about it.
What was so fascinating about aerodromes?
Uh, you know, we didn't have South Sudanese representing us in this area by then. And I also felt like when we establish our own civil aviation in the future, yeah, I
You did
can-
your studies in Khartoum.
in Khartoum, yes, yeah. I was actually planning and preparing myself when we get our own country, then we establish our own civil aviation. I wanted to be a pioneer woman in this area. Yeah.
I mean, I think with all of the efforts that you're making right now, I think we can call you that. I think that would be it later on in the future. We'll say, yes, Apiu is a pioneer in this field. Now that you have established the South Sudan Women in Aviation initiative, tell me more about the objectives of this initiative, and also since it was established in 2022, how far have you come?
Oh, well, we established the association in 2022, officially inaugurated in 2023, to empower women in the aviation sector and also to look for opportunities for capacity building and to enhance the representation of women in the aviation regionally and globally. So in 2023, we inaugurated the association in April. In June, I received a letter from AFCAC SG requesting me to join the African Women and Youth in Aviation. They established this initiative to empower women and youth in the African continent. So they were looking for distinguished women across the continent to be a steering committee members and also to represent their countries. So the same year we had our first annual conference. 2024, COMESA hosted our second annual conference, and we were lucky. We got the Kuwait College of Aviation and Technology developed an interest to collaborate with us. Early this year, we signed an MOU with the Kuwait College for Aviation and Technology. They gave us a very good offer to empower women in the aviation in all the domains, and because we are members of the AWARE, the African Women and Youth in Aviation, the AWARE signed an MOU with ITERIA College of Aeronautical Business School. They offered us scholarships.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and we are grateful. We have a number of women and young men are doing their masters now.
Through this scholarship?
Yes.
Wonderful. That's actually amazing. Really amazing. Why do you think, just from looking into aviation and so on, are there any other form of collaborations that are happening with, let me say, airlines? You know, I think every time I travel or fly, it's very rare that I see a South Sudanese is flying the plane or even a part of the crew, or as much as air hostess or air host. Those are things that I don't really see. Even locally, like in our airport, you see a lot of foreigners also that are, you know, running the ticketing and boarding passes and so on. There are South Sudanese within the airport, but rarely within positions that you feel South Sudanese should be employed within. Are there any collaborations that exist or partnerships that exist that actually help South Sudanese, you know, improve or be better or get employed?
Currently, I know the air transport market is heavily dominated by foreigners, but the CAA is working hard to come up with, through the air transport department, to come up with air transport regulations. And I'm very sure in the coming years they're going to be different. Yeah.
Okay. What kind of improvements do you think we need?
We need to enforce the ATR to the foreigners.
ATR is
the air transport regulations, and also to come up with policies that can allow our aviators to fly or to work as a cabin crew. It's the work of the air transport department, and the CA has established it recently, and they are really working hard to make some changes in this area.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what changes do we need to make to improve representation, women representation?
As I mentioned earlier, ICAO made it clearly. We have the Assembly Resolution A3930.
Yes.
And we have to follow, if we want to follow the international standards, then we have to implement it. And when we talk about empowering or representation, it's all about giving them a seat at the table and let them be part of the decision making. Yeah. Hopefully, we are hoping for the best. We are pushing this agenda through our association, and we are grateful the CAA leadership, they are on our side.
How many women are within the CAA leadership? How many women have a seat within the leadership?
Only one.
Only one?
Yeah, we have the air transport, the director for air transport and economics.
Okay. Which air transport, you say, was recently established?
Yes.
It didn't exist before. So before that, we didn't have any women within?
The same woman, she was a director.
In a different position
in
before?
a different department. Yeah, and most of our problems or our challenges is we don't have a role models. There are very few. That's why our representation is still very low. But we are hoping. We're hoping for the best.
Yeah. Is
Yeah.
it based on how many role models exist or how many women are qualified to hold those positions?
They are qualified, but our number is very few, especially in technical areas and leadership positions. And by the way, when we talk about women in aviation, it's not just pilots
Correct.
or aerodrome. We have engineers.
Engineers.
We have air traffic controllers. We have avionics engineers. We have ANS engineers. So they're there, but we still have a long way
A long way to go.
to go. Yeah.
Yes. Also, you mentioned the scholarships and collaborations with different universities. You said there are men and women that are doing their masters right now through those scholarships. Before this, is there a large number of South Sudanese women, men that are pursuing careers in aviation?
They're there, but they're doing it, but not in South Sudan. And also, pursuing a career in aviation is very expensive. Yeah. Some people are lucky; they got the chance, support to do it outside the country. But now, us as an association, we are partners with Fly on Time Aviation Academy here in South Sudan. So they really support all our activities, and also they facilitate our workshops and events. Yeah.
It's good. If you were to speak to a young girl, young boy that are confused and to what do I want to study? What career path do I want to? And you want to convince them, aviation is a really great career path. What would you say?
I would advise them to follow their intuition. And when you feel like you want to become a pilot, believe it and work hard and prepare yourself for that moment. You have to go against it, not with it.
Yes.
Of course, you will face challenges,
Yes.
but challenges are your opportunity to grow. So don't give up.
Okay, beautiful. And I just want to know, what is the job market, the employment market like in aviation right now?
There are a lot of opportunities, and we are growing in this sector. Hopefully, with our act and regulations, I think the CA will do better in the next coming years.
Okay.
Yeah.
You mentioned pilots before. What's the job market for pilots in South Sudan? I know we have a few local airlines, but majority are international airlines. What is the job market for that like?
It's not easy. Most of them are not flying. Few of them, they got a job outside the country, like, for example, my deputy, Captain Arwaj, is now flying in the region. But we hope when we have our own flag carrier, it will bring more opportunities for our pilots. And also, we have to set some new policies, enforce the regulations. Yeah.
Yeah. Since you told us the story and your story, and the 5 years of just being unemployed, but you kept trying, there was something within you that really wanted to succeed. Since that time until now, how much change have you seen within the sector?
Personally or within?
Both.
Personally, I received my appointment letter in 2021 and started immediately to mobilize and establish the association. And when I reflect on my accomplishment, I'm grateful. I founded the association and is being recognized regionally, internationally, and I also became the first focal person for consumer protection in ESC. A lot has happened, and I'm really grateful. I don't regret anything that I went
Yes.
through in the past. And I think all of us, we have noticed the change now in the aviation sector. The CAA, we have amazing leadership, and I think you have noticed the change at the airport.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm expecting more from them. Yeah.
What kind of things are we expecting from the lead?
And by the
But
way,
before we go into that, let's take a short break. And
okay.
we'll be right back.
In South Sudan, beads carry stories, stories of beauty, pride, and identity. From weddings to celebrations, beads have always spoken our language of culture. At Suksukna, meaning our beads, women and girls are bringing this tradition to life again, handcrafting unique designs inspired by South Sudanese and Pan-African cultures. Each bead is more than decoration, it's empowerment. Every purchase supports a woman earning an income, a girl learning a skill, and a family building a future. Whether you want beads for sale, hire, or a custom design, Suksukna offers elegance rooted in tradition. Visit Mamarasakit Village today or contact us on 0921 792 495 or email mamarasakitvillage@gmail.com. Let's wear our culture with pride.
Welcome back to Gender Talk 211. Joining us today is Apiu Maiwak, the founder and chair of the South Sudan Women in Aviation. Welcome back again,
Thank you.
Apiu. So speaking of women in aviation, I just want to use this segment to understand how women in aviation can be supported, encouraged, how the community can be a part of your initiative, how media can contribute, how government can contribute, how private sector can contribute, even the humanitarian sector can contribute to pushing this initiative forward. So let's start by how do we let's start with government. How can government collaborations work with this initiative?
What we need from the government is to give us a room to grow. Yeah, I hope I want to see our state implementing the agenda for gender equality in aviation, because ACAO is very sensitive about gender issues, and you can even you can fail as a state if you don't if you don't empower women
Mm-hmm.
in your state civil aviation. But we have good leadership. We are hoping for the best, and for the women in aviation, we have short-term plans, mid-term, and long-term. Short-term plan is to do gender awareness. We've been doing that. I did it a lot through radios. Whenever we have any activity, we call the radios. Also, some of NGOs, they really stand with us and support us. Our midterm plan is to look for a support network.
Mm.
Yeah, to develop new opportunities. And our long-term plan is to get scholarships, more scholarships, mentorship. Yeah.
You know what? I'll give you credit for something. I think 2023, when you were about to launch the South Sudan Women in Aviation Initiative, I think we had a call,
Yeah.
and I was supposed to host, I think, the launch or the inauguration
Yes.
of the initiative. And I didn't, but I knew opportunities would come later on to where I can, get to know what it is and how it works. And I think since then, I started seeing more about aviation, just in media in general. I started seeing more about women in aviation. So that tells me that you're doing something right, because I'm seeing more of it. I'm also seeing more of you. I think you're someone that people have just trusted to come and speak about aviation. So you're doing something that is right for sure. Now, how about private sector? How can private sector partner with South Sudan Women in Aviation?
Um, you know, for any initiative to grow, you need resources, financial support.
Yes.
And I am very grateful. In our first annual conference, we were supported by Madame Chagai. She supported the initiative, and that's why we were able to organize our first annual conference. If we have any difficulties, sometimes we go and knock doors, and they really support.
Are you getting enough support?
Not really. You know the situation in our country.
Yes.
You can't tell, but maybe in the near future.
Hopefully, we can't always depend on government to support and fund everything. You have to look to other sectors to also help out. So what about corporations? I mean, you mentioned Madame Chagai, so I'm assuming the Chagai Foundation was what supported. What about corporations?
Here in South Sudan, we never had that. And only collaboration we have is with Kuwait, maybe AFCAC. Yeah. But as I mentioned earlier, we are partners with Fly on Time,
Yes.
like the academy, and we are open for collaboration.
More collaborations to come. You heard it here first. They need more collaborations. I think corporations, you have a responsibility to this. So please give my girl a call and let's support South Sudan Women in Aviation. Now, what about rules, regulations, policies? Is this something in your opinion, is this something that is good enough? It's just the implementation that needs to work, or are there changes, new policies that we need to come up with?
I think we are good. What we need just to implement. We have a concrete act, and if we implement the gender equality agenda, or let's say the 83930, I think we will be in a good position as a state.
Better position.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what is the vision here for South Sudan Women in Aviation? What do you see as the end game or end goal? What is the vision?
We want the South Sudanese women in aviation to be authentically empowered, not just employees within the CAA or in the aviation industry. We want them to be experts, representing us in the region and representing us internationally. This is what we want to see.
What else do we want to see for women? I know representation within leadership roles, that is very important, like you say, regionally, internationally. Is this something that the CAA would have to work out with the region and internationally as well? Is there a part that they would have to, a role that they would have to play here?
Of course, they have to comply and follow the international standards and the directives from ICAO, because we are not in isolated area.
Yeah.
We are part of the world, and we are members of the International Civil Aviation Organization. Yeah, they have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no any choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many members right now are, is it by membership?
Yeah.
How many members?
We are
are
above 30.
above 30. All women pilots, engineers,
Yes, engineers,
and so on.
women from the CAA, from airlines, ground handling companies, even Air Force.
Air Force.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
But we don't have, the membership is open for all the female aviators, not just within the civil aviation, but also Air Force. Yeah.
Okay. And different women have different roles of what to do within. Okay. What is the next big thing coming up for South Sudan Women in Aviation? Now, you had your first annual conference. I'm sure there's a second one coming up.
Yeah. We are planning for the third annual conference. It's going to be next month.
Next month?
Yes.
You didn't call me to host it?
You will be the one hosting it. It's going to be from 29th October to 31st.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice.
We will meet and talk more about it.
Definitely.
Yes.
But just for the viewers, what should we expect from this conference?
This time, we really want to emphasize on women representation in technical areas and leadership position. This is our right. And hopefully, as I mentioned earlier, by 2030, we want to see more of them positioning themselves in leadership and technical areas.
Wonderful. Just going back to the act, usually any kind of act that we have like indicates or we specify representation. Is there something like that within the Aviation Act?
Of course.
Okay.
You know, I was one of the pioneers who amended the act.
Of course you were.
And we really pushed on this agenda. It's there.
What does it specify?
Gender equality in aviation.
Gender equality it can be very broad.
Yes, I think we should leave it.
What do we specifically mean when we say gender? Does it say you need 35% of leadership should be women? Or 50%? I'm just being hopeful.
Yeah, I think we're hoping for 50 or more.
So that's the push right now.
But I'm not talking about, it was not written like that in the act,
Okay.
but the act just encouraged the state to support women in aviation.
Yes.
Yeah, it is up to the CAA now to decide how are they going to go about it.
Okay. Sounds good. It sounds like we need to talk to the CAA. Now, what is next for Apiu? What is next for Apiu? And what would be your message for women in aviation in South Sudan?
What is next for Apiu? I've never expected this question, by the way. But I'm a kind of a woman. If you see me this year, you will definitely see something different next year. I cannot tell. You will just see results.
You're growing.
Yes. And my message to
women in aviation.
To women in aviation. For women in aviation, I know this career is not easy. I went through a lot, and I'm not the only one. But I don't want them to give up. If Captain Alwell did it, if Arwal did it, if I made it up to here, you can even do it better than us. We are all trying, and maybe the environment and the situation sometimes can be against us, but have the courage. This is your right. You have a right to be empowered. You have a right to be in more senior technical roles and leadership positions. And for men, they have to give us now a room to grow, and they should give us a chance. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful message. Just a question out of that. Do you think men in general play a role in why there is a gap for women in aviation?
Of course. You know, men, they love to be everywhere. And the issue of gender stereotype in aviation is a global challenge. It's not just here in South Sudan.
Mm-hmm.
But we must start from here. Through the sensitization, we are trying to make them understand that we have the equal rights like you, and we can even do it better. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I really appreciate you being honest about that.
Yes.
Because it's very rare that I have a guest and they say, yes, they play a big role in being a problem. So I appreciate you being honest about that. How do you think now men can play a role in supporting women in aviation?
By accepting that we have the same rights, and give us a room to play a role. And also, you know, we will support each other. If they look at us just like, they should not look at gender.
Yeah.
Look at what a person
Can do.
Yeah, is more important than gender. And for so many South Sudanese, we have realized that they think women cannot do better in aviation. They have that negative mindset. And but nowadays it's even better than before. When I joined the CA, it was heavily male-dominated environment. I think this is the reason why I remained as a volunteer for 5 years. But with the new leadership, they are aware of the importance of women participation, and they're empowering women.
You're hoping for a lot of change
Yes.
to take place.
Hopefully.
Okay. The last message that I want you to share with our audience is, how do we as a community support women, young girls, in to partake in even aviation, to partake, to be a part of the sector, to want to become pilots? It's okay for them to dream of doing that. I think there's been maybe twice. Once I saw online, and the other one I actually experienced it in person, where someone would not get on the plane because the pilot is a woman. That didn't even happen in South Sudan, but just knowing our community and how we can disregard our women and girls' dreams, or just feel like it's too dangerous of a career path, or want to protect. What would be your message to the community?
They should support men, girls and boys,
Yes.
to choose what they want. And by the way, the aviation training is highly professional. So women and men, they get the same training from the same instructor. There's no different. between the female pilot or engineer and male engineer. It's just the stereotype and the mindset, and we need to change that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. I really appreciate you for being here, Apiu.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on, and I hope to see you again. And
Yes.
next time, hopefully within the leadership of CAA.
Of course, indeed, it will happen.
Amazing. Where we're calling it into
Yes.
existence.
And I hope to see you in our next conference
Yes.
next month.
Call me. I will be there.
Right.
All right. Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
And thank you all so much for watching. See you next time.